Well, we've all met and it was really lovely to meet you all, and I'm glad you all had the opportunity to come and have a look around our state-of-the-art emergency department. Oh no, sorry, this is the future talk, isn't it? Right, I'll remember that one for when we've finished fundraising and we can go and do that talk then. But I guess you want to know why it's a good idea to fundraise for us, and probably why don't the government do it? It needs doing. The children deserve a unit that is fit for purpose, but there just isn't the money there to do that, so we have to turn to kind people like you. And the reason we have to do that is because, as I explained to you before, there are 170 children on average come to our department every day. So that's on average. So some days obviously there are less than that, and some days there are more. The most children we've seen in a day was just before Christmas. We saw 206 children in one 24-hour period. So we consider that to be our best day ever because we helped 206 families that day. But with each of those children comes at least a mum or dad or a carer or a grandparent or a babysitter or somebody. So that's one additional person. And then for those of us in the room who know that it's not just that easy to pick up the child that's poorly and go, you've then got to probably rely on somebody else to drive you because you might be too upset yourself. Or you might have to bring all of your other children because they've just arrived home from school. Or you might actually have to wait a little bit longer until Dad gets home because you haven't got any way of getting to the hospital. So we're probably up to, what, I don't know, between 400 and 600 people every day now go through those doors, and as you saw, it's not the most welcoming, and we do our very best. We try and make sure that our staff are as welcoming as possible. And actually, as you all left the department, I went back into the main department just to kind of keep an eye on, make sure they were working as hard as possible. And they did say, you know, who are those people, what do they want, even though we've talked about it all day. Suddenly they're listening when they see the strangers in the department. They're like, oh, is that where you're from? So we've been talking about it, and I said, well, you know, these are the people hopefully that are going to help us improve our environment. So the NHS doesn't really have the money to put into our environment because although we recognise how important it is, we can actually treat our children no matter what the environment is like, and so unfortunately it does come very low down on our priority list, as much as we try. One of the things that you didn't see while we were there is some of the work that the nurses have been doing called the Productive Emergency Department, which for those of you that are familiar with lean processes and removing waste from your department and removing waste from your processes, etc., we've been trying to do that. We recognise that we're doing things the way we've always done them, and of course if you do that you'll always get what you've always got, won't you? So we've been trying to get them all ready to start thinking about what makes a difference, and it can be, you know, daft things like moving your medicines cabinet into the observation unit means that when a child's in pain, rather than having to go into the main department, find someone to check it with, find the keys, draw at the medicine, because we're children's nurses, we check all of our medicines with 2 nurses, not just 1, to make sure that we're absolutely spot on. You know, 1 decimal point in the wrong place is 10 times the amount too much given to a child, so we're very careful about our drugs. But then we have to go back into the observation unit. You know, if you move your medicines closer to children, they're not going to have to wait as long, and that means that they're not in pain. That means the families are less distressed because they haven't got a child in pain. And again, just after you'd left, typical, as you walked out, a mummy came to me and said, where's so-and-so and so-and-so? And I said, oh, I think that was the little girl in mine. And, oh yes, there she is. And she went running up to her, and she, with all due respect, was a broken arm. And of course we think, oh well, it's only a broken arm. But to that family, that mum saw her little girl, gave her the most enormous hug, left her arm out, thank goodness, because that's the one thing you go, oh, don't do that. But you know, you see the distress on families' faces every day, and then they kind of turn around and look at where they are, and that's why it's so important for you to give us all the help that you can. So I'm just going to finish off by saying thank you so much. I'm really excited about this. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're all getting on the leaderboard. It's already in my favourites on my computer, so if I can get on it. It's an external website. So thank you ever so much, and good luck.
Yeah.